welcome or welcome back to the Lit Review. Today, we're doing my TBR game, and that is LitLand. If this is your first time here, LitLand is my game where I figure out what books I'm going to read for the month of March, and I make my way across the board with each color associated with a different genre. I do 4 picks, and to help me pick which genre, there are a lot of like tricks and challenges along the way, as long as things that we do together. I will leave the playlist linked in the cards as well as in the description box below, so if you want to catch up on the 2+ years of LitLand that I've been doing here. The rules will always be listed in the description box below so that you can get the most up-to-date ones, because there have been some changes since I first started this game. And this is exciting because this will be the start of our 3rd version of LitLand together, like our 3rd actual go-round. These are usually pretty long games for me as somebody who reads like a moderate amount each month. And I will be going back on a book buying ban. So let's talk about that for a second. I'll put the board down. So I will be going on a book buying ban at the end of February here. I have a few more days to get my feels in as I'm filming this, but that's my effort to kind of recommit to reading down my very extensive physical TBR. And that's how LitLand got started in the first place. So I'll be going on a book buying ban, and what that's gonna look like is that outside of subscription boxes and gifts, I will not be acquiring new books until I either read 50 of my own physical copies, so that does not include things like library books, ebooks, audiobooks, unless I also own a physical copy of that book, and we'll kind of like check it off that way. And the only other way that I'd unban myself is if I beat LitLand. So whichever of those things come first is what will get me off of that book buying ban. The books I read in February do count, so let's talk about those real quick. So these are all of the books that I needed to read in February. 2 of them are rollovers, and then the other 5 were books that I pulled from February's game. So let's talk about these really quick before I get too far into our March TBR. I did finish my 2 rollovers, so I did finish Indigo by Beverly Jenkins, and I did finish How Moon Fuentes Fell in Love with the Universe by Raquel Vasquez Gilliand. No punishments this month, which is great. And then of the other 5 books that I needed to read, I'm so close, and I have like today, tomorrow, and Tuesday before the end of the month. So I actually think I can finish it, because the only one I haven't totally finished is this one here, but you know, let me actually show you. So I finished Radiance by Grace Draven, the erotic graphic novel, yes, Roya by C. Spike Trotman, also finished. I finished Leigh Bardugo's 6 of Crows, and I finished The Haunting of Tramcar 15 by P. Djeli Clark. Now, I did start The Sun Is Also a Star, so even if I don't finish it by February, I can roll this over since I started it. I think I can finish it by the end of February though, and actually like start this whole new round fresh, which would be fantastic. So I will let you know somewhere on the screen whether or not I actually succeeded in that or not, but as it stands, I'm actually pretty confident about us being able to start this game fresh, which is very, very exciting. That said, there are a couple of challenges I like to participate in every month if I can, but no sweat if I don't. The first one is my book club, the Book Covered Book Club, where we pick books based on a cover every single month, and the prompt for anybody who wants to participate in March is a bird on the cover, or birds on the cover. And in a similar vein, I also like to try to participate in Buzzwordathon. So that one's all about what's in the title of the book. And this month's prompt is the word secret. So something with the word secret, secrets, secretly, something like that. So I'm gonna try to see if I can like get that in there, but if not, I'll try to read something else that helps fit it. We'll see what happens. But let's get into that sweet, sweet board game footage. I'm so excited. So we're gonna reshuffle the cards for the new version of LitLand. Jeremy and his hands only, are going to be making an appearance in this video, of what we thank him for his shuffling service. So without further ado, we're gonna shuffle in the challenge square cards into the deck we'll be using for this new round of LitLand. Take it away, Jeremy. But okay, so here is LitLand. Our little friend Wilbur gets to start on the star. He gets to start right at the start this time. So, boop. Oh, bro, you're facing the wrong way. Let me help you out. There we go. All right, so he's gonna start there, and let's see where we end up. This is our freshly shuffled deck, as you just saw. And then we have our troll bridge, the blue, the pink cards are if we land on one of those challenge squares or get pulled to one of those challenge squares. And the green cards are if I either get put on one of the stuck dots or if I have to take a punishment. Thankfully, no punishments this month. So let's just get going with our full 4 pulls. Ooh, yellow times 2. Oh, boop. Boop. Oh, okay, so we're starting off with the double. So a yellow times 2, that means 2 young adult picks. LitLand has been feeding me some yellow a lot lately, and we did, as you saw, did a reshuffle before any of that came. Maybe it's just like the universe's way of telling me to get back into YA, and I have been really enjoying it, so this doesn't scare me like it would maybe 6 months ago. So I'm actually kind of excited to pick 2 young adult titles with you today. Let's see what we've got. I know I have a couple up here, so I want to pick at least one from my priority shelf. I'm really trying to be better about that this year. And I spy with my little eye at least one that I know I want to read this month. So hold. My first selection is going to be Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bolee. What I know about this book is that it is a contemporary YA with some kind of crime or thriller elements and its own voices as well, which is part of what makes this really exciting for me. I've heard excellent things about this, from the character development to the plot, in terms of just like having it be really resonant and gripping storytelling wise. So that's what makes it really exciting. The cover's also pretty stinking cool. Like, this is just like such a stunning cover of a hardback, and this is a subscription box pick because I got this many moons ago from page 1. But the main character, Donis, is a teenager who kind of feels in between, neither fully connected to her white family nor her Ojibwe community either, so she feels kind of stuck in between. But she ends up going undercover for the FBI to help solve a local crime. So this is really exciting. Very excited about putting this on my TBR for March. So I still need to pick a second YA for this to go, and I couldn't help but pick Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This is Talia Hibbert's young adult debut, and I'm really, really excited about it. Not only is the cover very cute, I just really love Talia Hibbert's writing. She's normally a adult romance writer. You might know her from the the Brown Sisters trilogy is probably her most famous work, but I have really loved everything I've read from her. So this is very exciting. I do have to level set my expectations though, because it's going to be a young adult title, so I should not go in expecting spice, and I'm going to try really hard to not let that unfairly bias my expectations for this book too. But there is a romance component to this book, and a pretty strong one at that, I think. So it features 2 ex-best friends, Celine and Bradley. Bradley being the very popular football star, and Celine being the ex-best friend because she's really into conspiracy theories, and that just was not cool enough for Brad. But they both sign up for a kind of 2-part survival course and end up getting kind of paired up and have to work together through that situation, and they kind of reconnect, and a little chemistry happens. This is actually pretty slim. It doesn't feel like a very substantial book in terms of heft. So this should go pretty quickly, and I just, in general, really like Talia Hibbert's writing, so I'm looking forward to this. Okay, pull number 2. Ah, okay. 1 purple. Boop. We love to see these here. This is 1 purple, my miscellaneous category. So I say this every time, but just in case you've never seen these videos, I have 5 other core categories, and miscellaneous basically it can be a freebie for anything that is not in those core categories. So young adult, which you've already seen, romance, nonfiction, historical, and fantasy or sci-fi. So anything that's not that, this could go. Or it could be like a different format. So if I wanted to read like a short story collection, that could be in here. So I have a lot of options. Oh no. Analysis paralysis. I did really enjoy having a couple of short reads on my TBR last month. So that's what I'm doing here. I've picked up a very tiny volume, very tiny, but it's a translated work too, which is pretty cool. And so this is The Governesses by Anne Sayre, and I believe it's translated from French. So it's translated from French by Mark Hutchinson. So truly, I don't know much about this. I picked this up a long time ago at like an indie bookstore. It just feels like a strange contemporary fairy tale, and maybe that's what I'm in the mood for. The back cover is not giving me a lot in terms of actual summary. It's litfic. This is like some big brain nonsense. But we'll see. It's tiny. You know, if I don't like it, it's kind of gonna be easy to just hopefully finish it. But we're giving it a go. All right, poll number 3. Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, it's this one. Okay, put that right there then. And we get to go all the way up here. Oh my god, little buddy. Boop. Normally I would be pretty mad to get a challenge card this early, but this takes us way the heck forward in the board game, and it so happens to be my favorite genre. So we get our first challenge card of this round of LitLand, and I'm actually excited about it. So what this means, I'm gonna have to pull a challenge card now. Okay, I'm gonna pull a challenge card. Okay, in the comments, here you go, in the comments. So what this means is that you all are actually gonna be picking this for me based on the comments on this video. So what I'll do, how I think I'm gonna handle this is I have too big of an unread TBR for you all to like reasonably know what that looks like. I'm gonna pick 3 options for you, and then in the comments, you tell me which one you think I should read. So pick one, and then after like a week of the video being out, I'll like see who has the most votes. This is exciting. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pick 3 different romance options for you because it's the romance challenge. And I'm gonna pick a contemporary, a fantasy, or like a paranormal, and then historical. Yeah. Okay. So I'll give you the title, the author's name, and it's kind of some brief synopsis for each of these. I'll try to keep it short since there are 3 of them, and you tell me which one you think I should read for March. So option number 1 is Nalini Singh's Slave to Sensation. This is the first of her Psy Changeling novels. So this is the like urban fantasy paranormal pick of the options. So the Psy are basically like intense psychic beings who punish any sign of like human emotion. But changelings are basically like shifters or wares. And so there's a lot of tension between these communities, but it's a Psy Changeling novel. I have read like some of her offshoots of this, but I've never read the proper series. So I thought the first book would be the great place to start. Yeah, option number 1. Then we also have, for the historical, My Darling Duke by Stacey Reed, part of the Sinful Wallflower series, where the female main character, Catherine, kind of fakes an engagement to a reclusive duke and just like tells everybody that they're engaged, and then he shows up and is like, "Hi, excuse me, what?" But she kind of begs him to not renege on this, at least publicly, so that she can save her family from financial ruin, and they come to an arrangement. So option 2, My Darling Duke. And then option 3 is our contemporary romance pick out of these 3, and this is Waking Olivia by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I know Jess from Peace Love Books XO talks about this book a lot, or she did last year. This was like one of her favorites. I got this in one of the first boxes, I think, of the Hello Lovely Trope of the Month box. And this is a new adult romance where a track athlete starts to have like mutual feelings for her coach. But Jess said she really loved it, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. So these are our 3 options. Please tell me in the comments below which one you think I should be reading this month for March. All right, last poll number 4. Oh, all right, yellow chimes 2. Boop. Boop. That's a good spot for you, sir. I'm happy to have you here. Oh boy, okay, we're doing more. We've got another yellow times 2. So that's 2 more YA picks. Yikes. Okay, so this is going to be a longer TBR for me than normal. My first selection is going to be Let's Talk About Love by Claire Can. Or Can? Can, maybe? I think it's Claire Can. So yeah, I think this is young adult. What drew me to this, in addition to like, honestly, just such a gorgeous graphic cover, but Alice as a main character is biromantic and ace. And that's just an identity that you don't see that often in like mainstream traditional published books. So that's part of what got me really excited here. So Alice gets dumped at the start of summer when she comes out to her girlfriend as asexual. And so she's kind of just dealing with her feelings, trying to like go through the summer and working at the library, just like trying to, you know, have a chill summer, pay rent, do what she needs to do. But she ends up kind of having a crush on one of her new coworkers at the library named Takumi. So as that crush kind of blooms a little bit, Alice is trying to debate with herself if it's worth kind of ruining, air quotes, ruining the friendship with Takumi, or if he'll even understand where she's at with her sexuality. So I just think this could be like a really thoughtful, sweet YA, and I'd really like to give it a go. All right, I need like one more thing for YA, and I'm gonna go with a shorter pick too, even though I already have at least one really tiny book, just so I can try not to fall behind on LitLand in the first round. Like, I'm just gonna go for a slim pick that I think I can finish, but it also happens to be a author I really like. And so for that reason, I'm gonna pick up Once More Upon a Time by Roshani Chokshi. This was also a subscription pick and was originally like a book that I got sent from Page One, which is kind of cool to be able to read down a couple of those subscription box options this month. It also has like the most wonderful, like that silicone matte texture, so I just really love the tactile feel. You might know Roshani Chokshi's work from like The Gilded Wolves or The Star-Touched Queen, which is one of like my favorite fantasy duologies. But this is kind of a take on, well, a fairy tale, if you couldn't guess from the title. It says on the back, once upon a time, there was a prince named Ambrose and a princess named Imelda who loved each other, but alas, no more. And so it sounds like they were kind of like in love, but kind of fell victim to a witch's curse or like a rescinded blessing, something along those lines. And so they are loveless, but they go on kind of a journey to reclaim what once was and have to brave magical landscapes and creatures that either want to help or, you know, not. But it's really tiny. It's like really small. So I think this would be like a fun fairy tale take. And it has a bird on the cover. It's a bird in a cage. So this will work for book covered book club as well, which is fantastic. All right, so for proper merch LitLand, I'm going to be reading these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, plus whatever you all pick for me in the comments for my romance challenge pick. So this is it, you know, like it's not that intimidating of a stack. There are actually some smaller books on here, and that feels great. That feels like something I can reasonably accomplish. I know I've got a lot going on in March in like my work life, so being able to read some smaller books is actually going to be great for the dopamine. But before I get too far ahead of myself here, we have a monthly troll pick to be adding to the take. So we didn't do one last month because we wrapped the version of LitLand, but we're gonna bring back the monthly troll. So the monthly troll is where I pull one of my Troll Bridge cards to add an additional potential challenge. And the point of this challenge is for us to be able to do something together so that you all can do the challenge too, and you know, like just to participate. I always like hearing from you all in the comments if you decide to use the monthly troll to inspire one of your picks. It's not something I have to do, but if I do accomplish it, I can kind of cash it in to save myself from one punishment. So let's go ahead and pull the monthly troll. Okay, so I pulled this. It says add a challenge. So I just told you that I didn't have to do monthly trolls, except with add a challenge I do, because it means I'm adding a book to my TBR. It means I'm adding a challenge to my list as well. So I'm gonna have to pull an additional challenge card, just like what we did with the romance. And then whatever I pick from that, I have to read. So I'm actually adding a full book to my TBR regardless. But if I complete that book, I get to potentially protect myself. So let's just pull a challenge card. Oh, okay. This isn't that bad. This isn't that bad. Subscription box pick. I can live with that. I can live with that. I have a whole like yearly goal dedicated to reading down my subscription boxes. And I've been talking about it a lot in this video. I already have a couple that do this, but since I have to add a challenge, I do kind of need to honor the specific subscription box. Let's see. And in my priority shelf, there's subscription box picks scattered on like every single rung of my priority shelf. But then the third one here that's got like the nice vertical stack is all subscription box picks. So I'm gonna go ahead and look here and pick one. But I'm gonna go for Carnal Cryptids by Vera Valentine. And it says East Coast, so I'm wondering if there's a West Coast option as well. Oh my. This came to me through a subscription box that I actually was part of the Kickstarter for last year. It's called Renegade Romance. And so I fell in love with the monster romance subgenre last year. And so this is like a bi-monthly box. It doesn't come every month, it comes every other month. And there's usually 2, sometimes 3 books from a indie or more often likely self-published author in the monster romance genre. So this is a why choose, and I'm over enunciating because bless you, some of you have called me out justifiably on my enunciation of that phrase. Which, no worries, you're right, I need to enunciate better. But so it's a why choose romance, meaning that the female heroine does not have to choose between multiple partners. But they're all different kinds of monsters. So she's on vacation and gets herself into the monstrously good time kind of trouble. It just seems light and easy to read and fun. So that's kind of what I want at the end of a pretty chunky TBR for me. Even though this is kind of a medium-sized book, I never have a hard time getting through romances. So let's just add this one to the TBR and call it a day. All right, so I stand corrected. This is officially my TBR for March. There are 7 books in total, which I think I can do. I think I can make that work. We'll see. As always, thank you for spending time with me. I hope you have a fantastic reading day or night, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Hold on, girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say.